Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I'm your host, Kavita, and the founder of Power Purpose Play, a global community of women in midlife. I'm here to tell you that it's your time now to rediscover what has always been inside of you and bring that out into the world. If you're wondering what's next, but don't know quite what that is, or if you feel a twinge in your heart telling you that you have so much more to do and so much more to offer, you're in the right place. Ask yourself, if not now, when? Do you want to leave your job, start your own business, take control of your health, reignite the passion in your marriage, write that book, or at least that first chapter? Transitions like this can be daunting, but through listening to my story and interviews with incredible women every week, I hope to inspire you to take action. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Welcome, everyone, to episode 20 of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I really can't believe I just said that, as I feel I just recorded the 10th episode yesterday. Time has just flown by, and I guess when you're doing things you love, that's just what happens. For those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, welcome and thank you for being here. My name is Kavita Ahuja, and I'm the founder of Power Purpose Play. I founded this global community of women in midlife in early 2020, and it's been such an incredible experience for me, mostly because of the people I've met along the way. If the last year and a half have taught me anything, it's that if there is a cause or a belief that you really feel strongly about, people will gather around you, support you, and spread the word about it. The word I want to spread is that midlife is not a crisis. It is an opportunity for each one of us to step into our greatness and rediscover who we are and bring that out into the world. As I contemplate our mission at Power Purpose Play, I'd like to share my thoughts on rediscovery and what it means and how to rediscover ourselves. I've had the good fortune of learning from some amazing women, and every episode I publish, I share some key learnings from each of them, which I really encourage you to read, and they're in the show notes. I will share some of them shortly from the last few episodes. I am so proud to share that we are in the middle of our pilot program called It's My Time Now, How to Rediscover Yourself in Midlife. This is a 6-week transformational course, both online with readings, lessons, and tools, and weekly 2-hour workshops where we go through the lessons in detail and discuss our thoughts and learnings. I've seen a shift in our group and have seen how, as women, we can work together to accomplish so much and be so supportive of one another. I thought I'd share here what I refer to as the Pyramid of Reinvention and the steps we can all take to rediscover ourselves. The first step in the rediscovery process is really to uncover your true gifts and talents. What are your skills, strengths, talents, or your inventory? What do other people think are your talents? You should ask them, do they overlap? That may surprise you. What are you passionate about? Can you remember what you were passionate about as a child when you used to play for hours on end with no worry or care in the world? I like to think about how we can bring those passions back into our lives right now. Also, what do you value now, and how has this changed over the years? Can we bring our talents, our strengths, our values, and our passions together to discover our true reason for being? It's not as easy as it seems to think of our talents and what we are good at, because frankly, as women, we often don't take the time to celebrate ourselves or our accomplishments. But I'd like you to take some time to think about what makes you you and what makes you great. The next step in the process is to really envision yourself and your life moving forward. Who are you in 20 years? I discussed the concept of the inner mentor. You can be your greatest mentor if you envision yourself with deep clarity. Sometimes your inner mentor is even more powerful than any external mentors you could ever have. Can you form a mental picture of yourself 20 years from now? What do you look like? Where do you live? Who are you surrounded by? This can be a very powerful exercise, and it does help bring clarity to what you'd like to do in your next stage. The next step in the pyramid is to face your obstacles. And if you've listened to any of the episodes of our podcast, you'll know we discuss obstacles a lot. It's interesting to hear how many of my guests have overcome obstacles in their lives and gone past them. Often it's just a matter of actually recognizing what type of obstacle or block they are and reversing our thought patterns to release those blocks. When we envision ourselves in the future, of course, we put obstacles in our way, and those blocks stop us from realizing our visions. There are both external blocks, which we can often can't control, and internal blocks, which, as I said before, we can often control if we reverse our negative thought patterns. There's different types of blocks, like there's inner blocks, there's inner critics, assumptions, there's interpretations of events, and then there's our limiting beliefs. As I said before, reversing our thought patterns, we can release positive energy to move us closer to our vision for ourselves. Without having confidence in ourselves and our abilities, we really can't develop a plan of action. And a lot of the time that I've spoken to women in our podcast, it's taking that first step towards our goals. Take the first step and then the next step, and then it'll go on and on. But if we don't have the confidence to do that, we'll never take that first step. It's all about working on the words we say, the thoughts we think, and the actions that we take. And then we can gain confidence in our plan moving forward. So this is a bit of an outline I wanted to share and tell in terms of the process that I used to really reinvent myself in my life. You may be wondering what is next for you. You may be lost as your circumstances may have changed in your life. Maybe your career is no longer satisfying. Maybe your relationships are changing or have ended. Perhaps your kids have moved away and now you're an empty nester. Maybe your health is changing and you really want to take control of it. Maybe all of those things are happening all at once, like they did for me, and you feel completely out of control. I want you to know that it is possible to live the next chapter of your life with deep clarity and fulfillment and enjoyment if you follow some basic principles. This process is really the result of what I did in my life to reinvent myself, and I honestly can't tell you how happy I am. It's not an easy thing to do, and it takes time and determination, and it's definitely ongoing, but the results are quite fulfilling. I wanted to share this with you as I think as women especially, we need to really realize that it's our time now to do what we want and to be who we really want to be now. I was happy to see a recent Forbes article celebrating the top 50 women over 50 and was surprised to learn this was the first such list. Better late than never, I guess. I also truly believe that right now there's 3 waves that are happening in the world. One wave is that we as women are definitely more empowered than ever to stand up and show the world who we really are and what we are capable of. And I think that is being recognized more now than ever in our workplaces and in general society. The second wave is that of ageism. We're not too old to accomplish what we set our minds to. And I believe that ism is being recognized, as one of my guests, Sandra Pierce, and I discussed in a recent episode. We are just getting started, my friends. The third wave is that of self-reflection and looking internally to our inner selves and asking ourselves, is this it? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? The pandemic, while we were home, has forced many of us to change the way we think about our life moving forward and think about our values moving forward more than any time ever. Is there a way we can change what we do, how we work, to reflect our changing values and make meaningful changes in the world? These 3 waves are important, and I will continue to bring forward guests who share their own story of reinvention, but also enlighten us to topics of importance so we can all learn and improve ourselves. I wanted to share some words of wisdom from the last few episodes and from some of the amazing women that I've interviewed. Janet Olmstead says, tap into what you loved to do as a kid. Life is hard right now, and people need joy and fun. And you get that through play. Emily Barras has said, achieving our dreams and goals in life, it's important. And sharing your story is also important. Michela DiCarlo said, there is an aura of frumpiness around middle age, and the only way to challenge the stereotype is to change the narrative. We, as middle-aged women, are much more than golf tournaments, apple pies, and cashmere cardigans. Erica N. We are all in a state of reinvention throughout our entire lives. It's a really important thing to evolve as people and to listen to where you are in your stage of life and do things that matter to you as you evolve. Sandra Pierce. Reinvention can be many things. starting something completely different, or within where you are currently. Taking charge of your investments is also reinventing yourself if you haven't done it in the past. Dr. Nicole Cutts. The heroine's journey is a model for life. Each heroine has to figure out what they need to do to disarm their threshold guardian. You may need to run at it, you might need to fight it, you may need to befriend it or understand it. Alexander Stockwell says, conscious partnership is when we treat our relationships as vehicles for personal transformation. It's essential for our own reinvention. And Dr. Caroline Brookfield, anything you do that's creative is uncertain. Creativity is a boot camp for facing those harder challenges in your life and facing those obstacles. It is my honor and privilege to bring these wonderful guests to you, and I hope you gain even one pearl from each of them. I'd love to hear from you. How are you enjoying our podcast so far? And if you have any suggestions for topics or future guests. If you're interested in the Pyramid of Reinvention I spoke of earlier and want more information, contact me at kavita@powerpurposeplay.ca, where I can tell you more about our upcoming course called It's My Time Now. I'd love for you to join our growing community at powerpurposeplay.ca and our private Facebook group at Power Purpose Play Global. I'm here to serve you, so drop me a line and tell me what you want to learn more about and how I can be of service to you. I want each and every one of us to realize your full potential moving forward in life. I want each and every one of you to rediscover what has always been inside of you and bring that out into the world. That is really my wish and my hope, and I thank you for going on this journey with me together. In love and light, till next time, take good care.